If you have better than 25% enrollment average, I want to know what you're doing, because you are a superstar of longevity. 25% or less is the average. Well, there's no such thing as an average, but really, you shouldn't. What I'm trying to say is, don't be disappointed if you're only securing 1 out of 4 people that you talk to, because that's normal. That's how it goes. It's not you, it's them. It's human nature. And as God is my witness, the less you say, the better it is. I know a doctor that says you don't have to suffer with that. If I send you a link to this webinar, will you watch it? If I send you a link to the radio show, will you tune in? If I lend you this DVD, this CD, will you watch or listen? It's that simple. And then you move on. That's a yes or a no question. It's a yes or a no question. And this is our simple solution. This is the lane that we recommend everybody get into. There's also a business opportunity here, right? And if someone's struggling with wealth, it's the same thing. It's more or less the same thing. The recommendation is, here's what you say. Well, listen, I'm building a home-based business, and it's awesome. I need to find 3 people to work with. I have no idea if you're one of them. I'd like to show you what I'm up to, and after you take a look at it, you can see if this is something that you would like to do or not. If not, that's fine, but after you look at it, maybe you'll know somebody that this would be a good fit for, because I'm looking for 4 people. I'm looking for 3 people. Can I show you what I'm up to? And then you leave them a copy of Success from Home magazine with the Longevity Business Opportunity DVD. And you call them back a couple days later and follow through and move on, or sign them up. It's that simple. So you just have to have these conversations, 10 times a day, 10 times a week, 10 times a month. I don't care. The more conversations you have, the more people you will secure. It's simply a numbers game. Don't be disappointed when you get turned down, because, not everybody got on Noah's Ark either, right? Right. Get it? Got it. Good. Let's go up to Alberta and talk to Joyce. Hey, Joyce, thanks for the phone call. You are live.
Hi. Thank you so much for taking my call. I just appreciate all the work you and Dr. Wallach have done in all your nutritional stuff. My husband has been struggling with Parkinson's, and we started longevity products in October.
Yep.
And I've called in a few times. I'm getting really concerned, though, because he's deteriorating, and it's alarming me. I guess I would have thought that with being on the products, he would have at least stabilized and then improved. But I don't know. Is that what happens? That you might see deterioration and then finally improvement and getting better?
Well, this is like gazing into a crystal ball. I mean, it's impossible to tell. There are way too many variables to predict, right? How long the Parkinson's has been present, how many prescription drugs he's been taking, other illnesses that are present in or around the body. We don't make promises, but what we do make, Joyce, is predictions, right? We predict that if I had a little tomato plant that I'd forgotten all about and it was struggling and the little tiny thing was on its last legs, I could predict with reasonable assuredness that if I started to take care of that little plant, gave it good water, good fertilizer, good soil, and good sunlight, that the chances are pretty high that the tomato plant would bounce back. Well, it's the same with the human body. His body needs the 90 essential nutrients. His body needs to not eat the 10 bad foods. And so when we remove the 10 bad foods from anybody's body, and when we nutrify appropriately anybody's body, we expect certain things to brighten up, and we expect there to be some type of noticeable, measurable improvement somewhere. Mm-hmm. And then for the big stuff, right, that we're dealing with, things like rheumatoid arthritis and congestive heart failure and Parkinson's or Alzheimer's disease, we just keep our fingers crossed and we see what happens. There is a point of no return. There is. But I don't know where it is. And nobody knows where it is. And his body needs this stuff anyway. So it's kind of like never fail fudge. What the heck else are you going to do? Just do nothing and you watch him just slip away, right? I mean, so I guess in my speaking this stuff out loud, it begs the question, since you've been giving him this stuff, has anything improved at all? I mean, outside of Parkinson's, mood, energy, appetite, sleep, weight, skin, joints? I mean, has anything brightened up, or has there been zero improvement?
I don't see anything, actually.
Has he reported anything? You know, mood, energy, sleep, anything, or not?
Not really.
Now that's remarkable, because that just doesn't, you know, that when we ring that bell, it should sound, and when we ring a bell and no sound comes out of it, it's peculiar. So the only time that medical nutrition fails, Joyce, the only time that medical nutrition fails is if we're not taking enough or we're not absorbing what we're taking appropriately. So how much does he weigh?
He's 180 pounds. 180.
180?
180.
Okay, so...
Should I read over what I've been giving him?
Yeah, so give me the list and tell me how much you're giving him how many bottles you order every month. Okay, go.
Tangy Tangerine, we give 2 scoops twice a day.
Excellent. And how much water do you give it that in?
I think he puts a whole cup full for each time he takes it.
And does he get diarrhea from that?
No.
Okay.
No, he's quite the opposite there.
All right. So 2 scoops in a cup full of water twice a day.
That's right. And then he also puts, with that, though, the OsteoFX, 1 scoop twice a day.
Okay.
And then selenium, 4 tablets twice a day.
Yep.
Cell Shield, 2 tablets twice a day.
Yep.
EFA, 1 tablet twice a day.
Yep.
Smart Effects, 1 tablet twice a day.
Yep.
And then we started adding the Immortalium, 2 caps 3 times a day.
Yep.
And the HGH, 6 caps at bedtime.
Okay. So here's what I'd like to change.
Okay.
All right. I want him to do 12 EFA plus a day. 12 EFA plus. He's doing 2 a day now of the EFAs. I want him to do 12.
All right.
12. He can stop the Smart FX. When you run out of the Smart FX, you can stop it. I want him to do 12 EFAs a day.
Okay.
I want him to do 12 selenium a day. He's doing 9 now.
Okay.
Okay. I want you to switch, please, from the powdered calcium to the liquid calcium.
Oh, okay. Powdered to liquid. Okay.
Yeah, and he needs 2 bottles a month, and I want him to do 1 ounce, 1 fluid ounce, in 2 ounces of citrus juice, like orange or pineapple or something like that. 1 ounce of the liquid calcium in 2 ounces of orange juice twice a day.
Let me just repeat that. Switch powder to liquid calcium, 2 bottles per month, 1 fluid ounce in citrus juice, 2 ounces in orange juice.
Yeah, so 1 ounce of the white liquid calcium in 2 ounces of orange juice, for example, or 2 ounces of pineapple juice, or 2 ounces of grapefruit juice, whatever tastes best for him.
Okay.
1 ounce of the liquid calcium in 2 ounces of juice, and I want him to do that twice a day.
Okay.
Now, as I'm not done yet, the Cell Shield is good. The Immortalium is good.
Okay.
You don't need to add anything else, but what he needs to start doing is he needs to be eating a diet that's high in cholesterol.
Yes, he's been doing that 12 eggs a day.
Okay, with butter and salt, right?
Yes, like what I've been doing, though, I've been giving him, egg yolks, 12 egg yolks, because he doesn't seem to have the ability to take with the white, so it's just too much for him. So I put egg yolks into an eggnog, so it's raw yolks. I add cinnamon and vanilla and a little powdered dairy milk, and then what else do I add? Something else.
All right, well, there's a longevity product you want to give him called De-Stress, D like David, stress, De-Stress.
Okay.
And every time he takes that drink, I want you to give him 2 De-Stress.
Okay.
because his body needs a thing called biotin in order to metabolize raw eggs.
Oh, okay.
You know, what would be better than that, actually, is there's a longevity product called Hair, Skin, and Nails. Hair, Skin, and Nails.
Okay.
Have him take 3 of those, right before he drinks that eggnog thing.
Okay.
And that'll help him to assimilate that better, and then that's a good idea.
Okay, because I was trying to figure out, well, maybe I'm supposed to cook it just a little, and I tried that, but he just can't seem to handle that.
I understand. So, now, the only other thing that would be prudent to do here is the lymphatic breathing. Are you familiar with how to do that?
No.
All right. So, we had a guest on the radio show about a month ago, and he talked about it, but I'm going to tell you how to do it right now because we're running out of time.
Okay.
Basically, for about 5 or 10 minutes twice a day, and you can do this too, you take a big deep breath through your nose with the intention of expanding your chest at the top of the breath. A big deep breath through your nose so your chest expands a little bit at the top of the breath, and then you slowly exhale it through your mouth.
Okay.
In through the nose, expand the chest, out through the mouth. Slowly, you don't want to hyperventilate. Just take long, slow, deep breaths in through the nose, expand the chest, and out through the mouth for 10 minutes twice a day. Now, after you've gotten used to this breathing pattern, when you're doing this breathing technique, you can run in place or bounce up and down from your toes to your heels, or go for a walk around the block. When you add physical movement to the breathing technique, you really increase the circulation of lymph fluid in the body, and circulating lymph fluid in the body facilitates and accelerates healing. Mm-hmm. So do the lymphatic breathing technique. You can do it with him. 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes in the afternoon or the evening. Adjust the dosages appropriately. Keep your fingers crossed, and give me a call back in about a month. I'll look forward to it. Thanks, Joyce.
One more question.
Yeah, hold on. Welcome back, everybody. Dr. Peter Glidden here, your steadfast advocate for health. I think Joyce had one more question. Hey, Joyce, what's on your mind?
Yes, my husband had been taking Cinnamate, and we read in Dr. Wallach's book that medication actually speeds up the disease, and about 50% of the people doesn't even help them. So my husband, when reading that, he decided to get off of it, and over a period of about a month, he tapered off, and he's been off for about 6 weeks. But anyway, because of the deterioration, I've had some questions like, well, maybe that was the wrong thing to do. When I look up Cinnamate in the internet, it actually has aluminum in it, which I'm thinking maybe we did make the right decision here, but anyway.
Well, no, there's no relationship between aluminum and Alzheimer's. That's a cultural myth. That was bad research that was done in the 80s, I believe, or the 70s. There's no relationship between aluminum and Alzheimer's. However, the prescription medications are not. They're not intended to cure the disease.
Right.
They intend to manage the symptoms only, and as they manage the symptoms, they burn up the nutrients that the body needs in order to regulate its affairs. So it's entirely possible that his seeming worsening is a function of getting off of the Cinnamate, and not that his organic disease is getting worse, right? Because it's kind of like if you had chronic headaches and you were taking Excedrin every day, and then all of a sudden you stopped taking the Excedrin, well, you would expect the headaches to get worse, right? So I bet you that's why it appears that he's worsening, because the Cinnamate wasn't. It was just kind of, it's like painting over the mold in the basement, right? You don't see it anymore, but it's still there, but you don't see it anymore. So that's where I'm gonna put my money. But still, he needs to do the hair, skin, and nails with the eggnog, the raw egg thing, and he needs to do more EFAs. Okay. Should
he also be on the V radical?
Well, what I would do, if you want to add anything into this program, I would add the triple treat chocolate.
Oh, yeah, he's doing that too.
How many pieces?
Probably 1 or 2 a day.
Well, have him do like 4 or 5 a day if you can afford it.
Okay.
Because antioxidants, from our point of view, antioxidants are massively important when we are attempting to support and promote the structure and function of stuff in the body that's been damaged by oxygen-free radicals. And we believe that the genesis of Parkinson's, multiple sclerosis, Lou Gehrig's, and ALS, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, is due to oxidative damage to the central nervous system, and so antioxidants are extremely important here. And, you know, we get antioxidants in food. You can get antioxidants in tea. You know, you might want to try some green tea, right? Are you drinking green tea?
Well, actually, I found on the internet that Reboss green tea has 1,700,000 or.
Well, have him drink a freaking quart of that a day. I mean, and that's what you want to do, right? You want to just go crazy for antioxidants, and I mean crazy. It's impossible to overdo it. Go crazy for antioxidants. Up the EFAs. Do everything else the way that I told you to, and keep your fingers crossed.
He also has the history of being in the Vietnam War. He's a Vietnam vet, actually. And there's some thought that he was exposed to Agent Orange. So
it's entirely possible. In Agent Orange, I'd have to specifically look up what the negative neurological effects of Agent Orange are. But remember, nobody knows where the point of no return is. There is a point of no return. For everything. You can mess your bones up so much they're not going to heal. You can mess your liver up so much it's not going to heal. You can mess your kidney up so much it's not going to heal. Everything in the body has a breaking point, a point of no return, but I don't know where that is. His MD certainly doesn't know where it is. His body needs the nutrients, so we're just going to give it to him, keep our fingers crossed, and lean on Father Time. Moving forward here, time is your best friend. But if you want to increase anything, increase the EFAs, as I recommended, and just become the antioxidant king and queen of Alberta. No kidding. Thanks a lot, Joyce. I have to move on. I appreciate you very much. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're coming up against the hard break. When we come back from the hard break, Robert in California is up, followed by David in Wisconsin. Then Javier is back, and then we're going to finish out the show with Celeste in Louisiana. Robert in California, David in Wisconsin, Javier in California, and Celeste in Louisiana, in that order. And God willing, and the creek don't rise. Remember, tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. Central, Healthy Body Challenge, Healthy Weight Loss, with yours truly and the formidable Sanjeev Javia from Longevity. Check it out. Eating the 10 bad foods will give you a heart attack. I think Billy Joel should have sung about that. Let's go to Robert and talk about heart attacks. Robert in California, thanks for the call. You are live.
Thank you, Dr. Glidden. Good to talk to you again. I'm the Robert that interrupted your breakfast at the Los Angeles conference.
You son of a gun. I'll never forgive you, son of a gun. Hey, I remember you, man. How's it going?
Yeah, going well, and you told me to call back, and I'm so glad to get on with you again. And, well, that problem went away. I had hemorrhoids, and I just ordered selenium, and in 3 days it was gone.
Gotta love it.
Oh, man. Now, what happened, about a week after I spoke to you at the conference, I had a heart attack. I was driving and was able to pull off, and it just, my heart just, got tight, like someone squeezing my heart. I couldn't breathe. I had a full blockage in my main artery to my heart. 911, they took me to Amazing Hospital. All, divine presence was there for sure. Led me to a cardiologist. He did an angioplasty, opened up the main artery, and put a stent in the main artery.
Yeah.
So I'm calling now, having a stent now in this condition. I'm continuing on the products. I take BTT, I take calcium, EFA 90s, and selenium now. But I wanted to just kind of check back in with you. I have one main question before I forget. I've ordered for myself and my mother-in-law, my whole family's on longevity, and I've ordered the daily, Ultimate Daily, and it says there's a warning, pharmaceutical, may potentiate pharmaceutical MAO inhibitors. Now, the doctor's got me since my heart attack. He's got me on blood thinner Brilinta, and he's got me on Sotalol as a beta blocker. Do I have to worry about those pharmaceutical MAO inhibitors?
No, you need to worry about the pharmaceuticals, but not for that reason. Okay. Not because of their interaction with the longevity, but the pharmaceuticals, well, let's back it on up and put it all in perspective, right?
Okay.
So I always say, even though the name of this radio show is Fire Your MD Now, right, we say that a little bit tongue-in-cheek because the domain of the MD, the stuff that they're good at, is emergency medicine.
Right.
And trauma care, and this is their domain, and they saved your life. I mean, perhaps they saved your life, but in any event, they served you a good service, they did a good job, and they came through with flying colors because that's exactly their wheelhouse. And so we have to give props where props are due, and that's a great thing, number one. Number two, this condition was not caused by an MAO inhibitor deficiency, right? It wasn't caused by a blood thinning medication deficiency. So this stuff that the MD throws at this condition is not intended to fix the problem. It just intends to manage the problem, as does the stint. And let me tell you how the stint works. And if I was king of the world, it would be mandatory for every medical doctor that gave every patient a stint to warn them that the arterial stents that they put in have a shelf life. And after 5 years, they stop working. And they stop working aggressively because the stent does not fix the cause of the problem. It's a good metaphor for this. I use it all the time, but it's appropriate here. Putting a stent into somebody's artery for atherosclerosis, right, clogged arteries, and then doing nothing else is like painting over the mold that's in the basement without doing anything about where the water's coming into the basement, causing the mold to grow. It's nonsense. It's only a matter of time until more cholesterol clogs a different part of the artery, or the stent itself breaks off a clot, and then you get a stroke from it. So the stent, so imagine, if you would, you have an artery, and when you're healthy, the artery is clear. It's a clear channel. It's like a clear tunnel. But now, because of bad medical advice, because of bad medical care, because of bad health care your entire life, you've been eating all the wrong foods. It's not your fault. It's your medical professional's fault. And your cardiovascular system has been egregiously lacking the nutrients that it needs to maintain its structure, integrity, and health. So things start to get bad. So you get inflammation in the artery, and the artery patches the inflammation with cholesterol. Now, the cholesterol causes more inflammatory particles to conjugate where the cholesterol is, which causes more inflammation, which causes more cholesterol deposition. And now the walls of the tunnel, the walls of the artery, are caked with cholesterol, and the inside of the tunnel of the artery closes off and closes off and closes off. Now, imagine a tunnel, right? Underneath a hill, like a 100-foot long tunnel, 10 feet high. And inside the tunnel wall, there's this stuff oozing. It's like tar and mud and crap is just oozing from behind the tunnel and collecting on the walls of the tunnel. So now the tunnel wall is caked with all of this oozy, sludgy stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Well, if you went into that tunnel, with a big like one of those Chinese finger traps, right? But it was reverse. So you go into the tunnel and you expand the Chinese finger trap. It's going to increase the center of the tunnel, but it's going to push all of the crap against the wall of the tunnel, right?
Right.
And it's going to squeeze out over the edges. Well, that's what the stent does. The stent just manually, it's a little mechanical device that they put in there, and then they expand it. And it forces the artery to open, but in the process it squishes all the stuff that was clogging the artery hard against the wall of the artery. Now, does that prevent the process that made the stuff accumulate in the artery in the first place? No. It just squishes it to the side, and, that's why these stents have a shelf life, because after 5 years, more cholesterol and more crap will accumulate inside the stent itself, and then you're going to die. But the MD doesn't tell you that, and they should, because they should tell you, look, man, this is not a fix. This is 5-year max. 5-year max benefit here. But, to their own credit, I guess if you want to call it that, they are unaware of anything that you can do to stop the process of this crap building up inside the arteries. They're completely unaware of it. They have no notion of what's causing that. They have no notion of what to do to cut it off at the knees, and we do. So, from our point of view, this has happened to you because you've been eating food that's inappropriate for your body, and it's causing low-grade, constant inflammation. So you need to eliminate the 10 bad foods yesterday.
I've done that. Yeah, I've done that strict. I don't eat any oats, barley, rye, oats, wheat, nothing.
Fried food, oil in a bottle, salad dressing, right? All right.
Every one of your bad foods, I've gotten rid of it.
All right, excellent. The next thing you need to do is take, how much do you weigh?
I weigh 180 right now, trying to lose a couple of pounds. I'm down to 175 since the operation.
All right, so 12 ultimate selenium a day. 12 ultimate selenium a day.
Okay, selenium. I started on 12 the day before I had the heart attack, and I thought, someone said to me, the products are working so well they're freeing your body, but it might have freed too much at once and clogged
No,
up.
that's nonsense. It was just, it was a coincidence.
Okay.
The clogging of these arteries was a process that took, 10, 15, 20 years to happen.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It was just a coincidence that you took the longevity supplement and, the artery, it just got so clogged that all of a sudden it was game over. So selenium activates the body's fire department. Selenium activates the body's ability to put out the fires of inflammation, and that's a really great thing. So given your history, I would do 12 selenium a day, and I would do 9 ultimate daily capsules a day. 9 ultimate daily capsules a day.
Ultimate daily. Okay, and I have no problem with that MAO.
No. Now, if you want to rest assured and sleep easily at night, go to CVS and get a blood pressure cuff.
Okay.
And start taking your blood pressure a couple times a day and write down the numbers and see what happens to your blood pressure, right?
Yeah. Right now, they've got me the 2 medicines they have me on is the beta blocker, the sotalol, reduces my heart rate. I'm at about 128 over 72 almost constantly at a 57 to 60 pulse rate.
Yeah, well, that sounds okay to me, but was your pulse rate accelerated? Was your heart rate accelerated before?
Yeah, I had high blood pressure. I was up around 140 over 90, 145 over 90. And my heart rate, I guess, is 70 to 80 sometimes.
Okay, so the reason that people get high blood pressure is for one of 2 reasons. Either you have a calcium and a magnesium deficiency, or you have a problem with your kidney. Now, it's possible you have a problem with the kidney, but I'm going to guess that this is a calcium and a magnesium problem. So what I would do if I were you for 90 days is get the liquid calcium, not the powdered calcium, the Beyond OsteoFX liquid. Take 1 ounce in 2 ounces of orange juice 3 times a day.
Okay.
I want you 3 ounces a day.
Okay.
All right. Now, you need to be measuring your blood pressure, because if your blood pressure starts to come down, which it's probably going to do when you start taking this much calcium into your body, which is an appropriate amount of calcium, you're going to need to reduce the blood pressure meds, right?
Right. Yeah. The good news is my cardiologist is for that. He does believe in nutritional medicine along with the drugs. And he said hopefully he can wean me off in 3 to 6 months.
Well, if he believed in medical nutrition, he would have studied medical nutrition and he would have started you on a medical nutrition program. At least he didn't poo-poo it. So
Right.
I'm okay. I'm okay with that. Now, for the blood, you need to be taking 12 EFA pluses a day. 12 EFA pluses a day. 12. Okay. Yep. 4, 4, and 4.
Okay.
Now, once every 3 or 4 weeks, he's going to order a test called where I'm having a senior moment here. INR, like Indigo Nancy Raymond, INR. It's a test to see how thick or thin your blood is, right?
Oh, okay, okay. Mm-hmm.
Now, the EFA Plus is going to make your blood extremely healthy as far as viscosity goes, its thickness and its thinness. Now, because you're taking this other blood-thinning med, it's entirely possible that when you add 12 EFAs into the bargain, your blood's going to get too thin. And when he does the INR test, he's going to see that and then reduce or stop the blood-thinning medication. And you need to communicate to him that you're on board a medical nutrition program, the intention of which is to support and promote healthy blood levels, okay?
Very good. Okay. Yeah.
So that's all that you need to do, man. The Ultimate Dailies, the liquid calcium, and the selenium. One other thing that you could do is educate yourself about antioxidants and start to eat food that's really high in antioxidants. I did a really good webinar on that, by the way, and it's available, if you become an insider and get a subscription to my online health stuff. I'd do that if I were you. It's only $20 a month. You need to get... Well, all right. So check out the webinar that I did on Where's the Fire and educate yourself about antioxidants. We are children of splendor and flame, of shuddering also and tears. Magnificent art of the dust we came, abject from the spheres. Finishing up with Javier, maybe time for one more. Hey, Javier, welcome back. I think you had a question about your sister.
Yeah, also you asked me what Dr. Wallach prescribed. I'm 150 pounds. He said to take 2 Healthy Start packs and then 6 seleniums a day, 3 a.m., 3 p.m. Ultimate Dailies, 3 a.m., 3 p.m. And De-Stress, 3 a.m., 3 p.m. 10 to 12 eggs a day and gluten-free diet.
And that's all.
That's all.
It's remarkable. So there was nothing, no Prost-FX, no anything else, and even though there were no real specific like herbal things for any organ systems, everything just brightened up and got better. I mean, you got to love it. I mean, it's just remarkable, isn't it?
Yeah, I had to become a believer. I had no choice.
Yeah, well, when the truth smacks you upside the head, you don't really have any choice, and that's how it goes for most people here in longevity. So what's up with your sister, Javi?
Okay. I wanted to ask you, that she had an operation of the thyroid, but they didn't take it out. They just took a piece of it, apparently. Will that bring her the high blood pressure, or would that be a cause of it?
No, it shouldn't be a cause of it. Actually, you would think it would be the other thing. One thing that can cause high blood pressure is if she's taking too much thyroid medication, because if they gave her an operation for the thyroid, undoubtedly they prescribed levothyroxine or Synthroid, which, by the way, is the largest prescribed medication in the United States. Everybody and their freaking brother is on Synthroid. So it's possible that she's taking too much Synthroid, and that's elevating her blood pressure. If she didn't have blood pressure high blood pressure before the operation, and she did after the operation, the first thing to consider is a side effect of the drugs. The second thing that we consider when we're supporting and promoting healthy cardiovascular function is giving enough calcium and then seeing whether or not the kidney is problematic. And so, when I have somebody who's up against a high blood pressure issue, in order to support and promote their cardiovascular system, I give them 1 bottle of the Beyond Osteo FX per 100 pounds of body weight per month, plus 1 extra bottle of the Beyond Osteo FX a month. And oftentimes, when they take the liquid calcium appropriate for body weight, plus a little extra for a couple of months, the blood pressure normalizes within 8 weeks. That's the first thing that I would do, is I would overdo it with the liquid calcium.
What you wrote down when you were with me here, it was stop cruciferous vegetables.
Yeah,
broccoli.
Broccoli, cauliflower, eggplant, and Brussels sprouts. Those vegetables have a chemical in them that decreases thyroid function, interestingly enough. So if you have an underactive thyroid, you should avoid those foods because they're going to mess up your thyroid, if you eat too much of them. So that's the rationale behind that.
Yeah. Now, if it's not too low and it's high, then those vegetables are okay?
Yeah, so if it's the other way, if the thyroid is actually too high, it's called hyperthyroid, then we would advocate the use of those vegetables. So you want to eat a lot of broccoli, cauliflower, eggplant, and Brussels sprouts as just part of your normal day-to-day thing, and that would, in effect, dampen down the action of the thyroid.
Yeah, I looked in the internet, and there's not only those, there's a bunch of other ones other vegetables, but the main ones are the ones you wrote down, right?
Yeah, there's a bunch of arcane vegetables and things like that. So, we really can get into a lot of detail here, but the most important things for everybody, because remember, we do foundation boilerplate medical nutrition for the masses, is number 1, eliminate the 10 bad foods. Number 2, get on board with the appropriate healthy pack, appropriate amount of antioxidants for your body weight. Take it a month at a time and see how you fare. I wish we had more time, Javi. Wish we had more time, everybody else. God willing and the creek don't rise. I'm back in the saddle tomorrow afternoon, 3 p.m. Central Time, and tomorrow night at 5:30 Central Time, my Healthy Body Challenge webinar with the inimitable Sanjeev Javia. Hope to see you there.